The latest data downloads may have just revealed the biggest hint for what the Golden Week units are gonna do, so it's time for another concept. How's it, everybody? Celtic Link here. We're back for another Dokkan battle video. In today's video, we got another concept drummed up for you guys about Golden Week. This time sort of focused around two new details that have been revealed since the global producer letter and the data downloads on both JP and Global Dokkan. So starting with the info from the Global Producer Letter, as we went over in a previous video, it is all but confirmed that this is a campaign for Golden Week about Goku and his friends as they reach the top of the World Martial Arts Tournament. Aim for the top Dokkan campaign starting on the 27th. If this doesn't scream 23rd World Martial Arts Tournament, I don't know what will, right? The name of the campaign, Aim for the Top, right? Tenkaichi Budokai is the world tournament in Japanese, literally meaning number one under the heavens martial arts gathering. It has to be the 23rd World Martial Arts Tournament. I don't think there's another hype one, right? I mean, there's the Majin Buu Saga one, but I don't think it carries as much hype as the 23rd World Martial Arts Tournament. So, as such, given that, we've drummed up two concepts based on the 23rd World Martial Arts Tournament, a Goku and a Piccolo, and we've used some information gathered from the latest data downloads to determine kind of what we think they're going to do. We do know that one of the units will have a standby skill, as it is mentioned here that they have a new type of skill that isn't out on global yet. So there's a good chance one of the characters is going to have a standby skill. So let's go ahead, let's hop in, let's take a look here. So I've made this Goku an int type character. I think int is the best typing for him, given what I want him to do. He's going to be a world tournament and Earthbred Fighters leader skill for 170% for HP attack and defense, and an additional 30% to characters on Kamehameha and Bond of Friendship. I think that this is the best category for him. Number one, it gives World Tournament now the first 170 lead for the category, but also Earthbred Fighters and Kamehameha and Bond of Friendship basically allows Goku to be run amongst all his friends from the Dragon Ball Saga and his Earthling friends. So it also, Earthbred Fighters will allow him access to certain Gohans, right? Kind of the idea here. So I think this is a good leader skill for him, but you know, if you have some better ideas, throw them out there. Let me know them in the comments down below. For his super attacks, I want him raising defense infinitely while greatly lowering enemies' attack and defense. Obviously, we know that this is a powerful combo. Lowering attack while raising your own defense is huge, especially in events where that can be done, but the infinite defense raise is important, and you'll see why here towards the end. But let's hop into his passive. So he will have an entrance animation, I believe, activated with 2 or more Turtle School allies on the same team. Could be Earthbred Fighters, honestly, one or the other would work. But I figured Turtle School, given it's the World Martial Arts Tournament, I hope they wouldn't make it World Tournament, but I figured there would be a condition. When I initially drummed up the concept, I went with like a similar condition to the Part 2 LRs from the 7-year anniversary, right? The Goku and Vegeta, where he would have his entrance animation based on having an enemy who includes Goku. But then I felt that would make his entrance too limited, as we saw with the kind of Ken Goku, that can cause some problems. So I just made it with 2 or more Turtle School allies on the team, which is pretty easy to do when you given who this guy is, right? Or when facing a Piccolo. I went ahead and gave him both, right? His entrance animation will give him attack and defense 59% and guarding all attacks for 4 turns. Now that is huge, because like most other entrance animation characters, they all have sort of this similar effect where they, for 4 turns, they can build while guarding. Think like the LR Ultimate Gohan or the LR Piccolo. They have a very similar effect, and that's kind of what I wanted to go for here. Because once he loses that, and he enters, I'm going to give him a standby skill, and once he loses that, you know, you want to have him as built up as possible, right? On the rest of his passive, he will have attack and defense 159%. He also gets an additional attack and defense 59% when performing a super attack. He launches 2 additional attacks, each of which has a high chance of becoming a super attack, and attack and defense 23% with each attack performed, up to 90%. I went ahead and gave him that just for that little extra attack defense, but also, you know, the play on the World Martial Arts Tournament. I thought that might be nice. So the idea is, while the 4 turns are up, this guy is building a bunch of attack, a bunch of defense, because he can be a sitting duck in his standby skill depending on the events, right? So his standby skill switches to standby for 5 turns. The conditions are to be activated 4th turn from the start of battle, so once his insurance passive is up, right? Or when HP is 59% or less. This is basically a similar condition to the 8-year anniversary LRs, although I think theirs is 50%. So once he is in standby mode, he cannot attack except for when performing the finishing attack, right? Most standby skills have the character charging an attack of some sort. However, his is going to look a little different, right? He will get an extra key just to kind of help him out when in this form, because sometimes building the key might be a problem. And defense 159%. He has the defense, but he's not really gonna need it. In fact, I might just get rid of that entirely because he is evading all attacks for 4 turns, right? Basically, the duration of the standby skill, he is evading all attacks. Now, this is huge because of the recent data download on JP changed the way counter skills with evasion work, right? So I made this guy, and I feel like the reason that was done is because one of the characters' standby skill involves evasion somehow, and there's probably a new event that is countering evasion, right? Canceling it, basically. So that is why I went this direction with this Goku. So while he is in this phase, not only is he dodging, but he is randomly changing key spheres of a certain type to rainbow key spheres. I also gave him the Kid Goku ability, where he can reduce damage received by the team 8% per rainbow key sphere obtained, and also an additional attack 590% when performing his finishing attack, right? The finishing attacks have to be powerful, and they usually achieve that. Looking at the 8-year cards that have a standby and finishing attack, they all have a 500% multiplier. So since it's Goku, I went ahead and gave him a 590% multiplier just to play on his name a little bit, right? But I gave him the multiplier when performing the finishing attack or when performing a counter attack. I did that because basically there are 2 ways to finish this, finish his standby skill. Either perform the finishing move or perform a super counter attack, right? They on JP, they changed the way that these super attacks work. No longer do they evade. Now they are considered nullifications, right? So he is going to nullify all enemy super attacks, right? Doesn't matter the type, and counter attack with ferocious power. So when launching that counter attack, it can end up hitting as hard as some of these other standby skills. I know it seems crazy, but the ability to activate it, may not always play in your favor. Honestly, though, I mean, I might be a little conservative here with this, giving him a 100% chance to launch it. More than likely, it'll be like a 50 or a 70% chance to counterattack if we're lucky, but I figured just go with the nullify all and immediately counter, because I don't think any characters actually, now that I think about it, right? When it was evasion, it was a % chance, but when it was just the nullification for the super attacks, I don't think any had a chance to do so, did they? I can't think of any off the top of my head, but that's kind of why I went with that. So I think this is the main reason they went this way, because of how this is going to do. So if you launch the finish attack, though, right, it will be stronger than the counter attack, obviously, and it will temporarily increase the attack 15% per charge counter accumulated and cause ultimate damage to the enemy. Link's is pretty much the same as the feat Kamehameha Goku. He's basically the only Goku we have from this tournament, so I just kind of copy-pasted there because I figured it would most likely be similar, right? Basically, the entire Link set, except instead of Shattering the Limit, he'll have Fierce Battle. Categories are Low-Class Warriors, World Tournament, Pure Saiyans, Goku's Family, Kamehameha, Turtle School, Powerful Comeback, Bond of Friendship, Battle of Fates, and Bond of Parent and Child, and Earthbred Fighters. I think those are the most likely scenarios for his categories. I doubt they'll add anything new unless it is a new category entirely. But that's my concept for Goku. I feel like he'll be some kind of crazy dodge standby skill mechanic. Now, on to the Piccolo. Piccolo, I believe, might be AGL, similar to the World Tournament one that just released a couple World Tournaments ago. I believe he will have a World Tournament like the Goku lead, Namekians, and Revenge for 170%. I feel like because this character is going to be far more limited in where he can be run, they're going to give him a couple of different options, right? So he'll also have an additional 30% for Battle of Fate and Gifted Warriors. I gave him Gifted Warriors because that'll cover all other Piccolos. So if you wanted to, you could run them all. You could run a Piccolo team, and then Battle of Fate would cover other big bosses that are on the revenge category, like a couple of the Friezas, right? And that would help him activate big bad bosses. I gave him super. It would also cover Battle of Fate would also cover Demon King Piccolo, who would help him activate big bad bosses as well. So for his super attack, I gave him greatly raising attack and defense for 1 turn and sealing enemies super attack. For his passive, I gave him activating entrance animations once only. I gave him, where is it? The condition of having another Namekian ally on the team, or when facing an ally or an enemy who includes Goku. I made his a simple one, like, so as long as you're running like Demon King Piccolo on the team or another Piccolo on the team, then you'll be able to pull off that entrance animation. Although the Goku condition is probably pretty easy. There's plenty of events with Goku in them, right? So the passive the animation will give him attack defense 100% and guarding all attacks for 4 turns. So same as the Goku, he will get attack and defense 15% with each attack received up to 150%. He gives all allies a medium chance of performing a critical hit with 3 or more key spheres obtained, and attack and defense 70%, and all allies high chance of performing a critical hit with 5 or more key spheres obtained. So he gives a little buff to his allies like the Goku does, but more on the offensive side with the chance to perform a critical hit. So you really want to push the 70% on him, and I did make it so high because I did not give him a condition of orb chaining. So you have to, like, it'll be hard to get the 70%, but when you do, it'll be worth it, right? Now for him, I don't believe he'll have an active skill, and again, or a standby skill. Again, I think he will probably more likely be similar to the LR Piccolo, where he has an active skill into giant form, basically after the 6th turn from the start of battle, or when enemy's HP is 50% or less, right? So the previous LR Piccolo had his condition at 6 turns or turn 3 when on a superhero team. So instead, I gave him 6 turns or when HP is 50% or less. And my thought process behind this was basically his would be designed to be used following the LR Piccolo's giant form, right? You would want them on the same team. And you would want them on the same team. He could cover slot 1, and then this guy could cover slot 2 or 3 and attack after Orange Piccolo launches his attacks. That's kind of my thought process behind that, right? Now, we forgot something to remove something there. We don't need that. That was Goku's skill. So his super attack will greatly raise attack temporarily and cause destructive damage. Destructive damage is basically on all giant forms, right? So we just went ahead and went with that. So with each subsequent attack, it will be getting stronger. I just went ahead and give him for his passive the same conditions as the LR Piccolo, because most giant forms don't have that great of passive conditions. It's literally maybe just like a little extra key, but I mean, this is this guy's kind of a big deal, more so than most other giant forms. So I went ahead and gave him not only the extra key to help him reach his 12 key super attack, but also launching some extra super attacks so he can take advantage of the raising attack. That's kind of how I want him to work. Basically, he can be pretty offensive, right? But the trade-off is he does have to take a couple attacks first to make it happen, right? But he's also kind of supporting the team. So this guy would actually make a really good third slot option. And the reason why I want him as a third slot option is because of this link here. There is almost no way on a proper team for this guy that you are ever making this link work, Big Bad Bosses, and it sucks. So it's kind of why I designed him the way I did, to counteract the fact that you are more than likely not going to have Big Bad Bosses with this guy, because even when run on a villain team, there aren't many other good Namekians that would help you reach the rest of these links that he's going to have, right? Same thing I did with the Goku. I basically modeled his links after the STR giant form Piccolo, which you see here. That's actually what this art is from. Big Bad Bosses, Demonic Waves, Strength and Unity, Incredible Adventures, Guidance of the Dragon Balls, Transform, and Fierce Battles. So on a villain team, it's probably going to be pretty hard to activate this Big Bad Bosses, whereas the rest of these, you're going to have quite a few of them activated with other Piccolos, right? Like next to the LR Piccolo, you're going to have Fierce Battle, Transform, Demonic Waves, so it'll be pretty good. For categories, you have World Tournament, Giant Form, Namekians, Terrifying Conquerors, Target Goku, Revenge, Gifted Warrior, Entrusted Will, Worldwide Chaos, Battle of Fate, and Earthbred Fighters. That's kind of how I think these two characters are going to work. The Piccolo using his giant form, and the Goku using a standby skill where he's kind of floating in the air, dodging all of the attacks, and counterattacking with a huge counterattack. This is kind of my idea, and again, this is all predicated on the idea from the recent data downloads and the reveal that one of these characters is going to possess some new type of skill, not yet on global, which is more than likely the standby skill. So anyways, guys, that is the video. Those are my concepts for this week's for this year's Golden Week campaign, a AGL Piccolo Jr. and an Int Goku from the fight during the 23rd World Martial Arts Tournament. Why don't you guys go ahead and let me know what you think of the concepts in the comments down below, and if you liked the video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And if nothing else, guys, thanks for watching, and aloha.